Discover the amazing 30M beachfront legacy I kept hidden while my daughter's wedding unfolded. The sun hung low over the quaint coastal town, a painting of oranges and purple stretching across the sky. Sarah stood in the bustling cafe, wiping down tables, as excited laughter and wedding chatter filled the air. The mere mention of Lily's upcoming wedding sparked not just joy but a whirlwind of emotions inside her. This wasn't just any wedding, it was the wedding of her daughter, the culmination of dreams nurtured with every cup of coffee served, every plate cleared. Yet, beneath her cheerful demeanor lay a treacherous storm of heartache and memories. Lily fluttered around, her eyes sparkling with visions of the perfect beach wedding. A soaring arch made of white flowers. Guests laughing and dancing against the backdrop of crashing waves. As Sarah watched her daughter buzz with excitement, a tightening in her chest reminded her of the shadows lurking in her past. The wedding was meant to symbolize love, but it also meant facing the painful truth about the inheritance Sarah had buried deep in her heart, a stunning 30 million beachfront estate, a stark reminder of the father who had chosen to walk away from them. Each day felt like a tug-of-war. Lily, with her youthful exuberance, wanted a celebration worthy of a fairy tale, while Sarah battled fears that took root in years of abandonment. Those memories threatened to surface like a tidal wave, filling her with anxiety every time Lily gushed about extravagant plans. The wildflowers, the food trucks, the live band, all of it felt dangerously extravagant to Sarah, who had fought tooth and nail just to make ends meet as a waitress. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days before the wedding, ominous clouds rolled in. The air crackled with tension, both in the heavens and within Sarah's heart. As she hurried to prep the cafe, the wind howled, knocking pictures askew. Amidst the chaos, she stumbled upon a dusty box in the attic, hidden behind old toys. Inside were letters, each one more revealing than the last, penned by the father who vanished from her life. Each inked word told a story of sacrifice, pain, and secret battles that her father had fought, an unrecognizable man shaped by war, yet still haunted by his demons. As she read through those letters, anger ebbed, replaced by a sense of understanding. The storm outside mirrored the turmoil inside, but with each letter, a connection was forming. Maybe her father loved them in his own twisted way, and this legacy wasn't just about a lavish house but reflections of strength and struggle. Just as the winds whipped the coastline, new revelations churned within Sarah. With every new emotion, she questioned if she even knew her daughter's true wishes amidst the grand plans. Would Lily even care for the estate or the buried secrets? With the wedding looming closer, the storm allowed no time for avoidance. Would they mend broken ties, or would the past continue to haunt them as they stood at the altar, committing to a future together? The letters whispered promises of hope. She just had to uncover the courage to embrace what lay ahead. The day before the wedding brought an anxious kind of stillness. Sarah stood at the beach, staring at the waves lapping at the shore. The salty air brushed against her face, refreshing yet filled with a tense softness. She watched as seagulls danced overhead, their calls mingling with the distant laughter of bridesmaids setting up for the ceremony. The scene was idyllic, but inside her, a whirlwind of conflict swirled. Lily, caught up in her own excitement, had enlisted the help of her friends. They had spent the last few days creating elaborate decorations and planning surprises for the big day. It thrilled Sarah to see her daughter so happy, but each cheerful shout felt like an echo of all she had left unspoken. Lily had grown up believing the past was simply a part of their story that they could leave behind. But the stakes felt different now. The estate loomed like a silent spectator, waiting to become part of their lives again. Suddenly, one of the bridesmaids, Emma, burst onto the scene, her hair tousled and wild from the ocean breeze. "Sarah! You've got to see this. Lily's creating a dance floor right by the water. It's going to be magical." Her enthusiasm ignited a flicker of joy in Sarah, but the weight of her father's letters lingered, chaining her heart. Yeah, magical, Sarah replied, forcing a smile. And a bit overwhelming. Emma paused, her bright expression dimming for just a heartbeat. You okay? You seem somewhere else. It was a question Sarah had anticipated but wasn't ready to answer. Just thinking, was her vague response, the words slipping out like grains of sand. As the sun dipped near the horizon, Sarah gathered her courage. She finally took out one of the letters she had tucked inside her pocket. The handwriting was shaky yet familiar, igniting a rush of memories that felt bittersweet. The words starved for sunlight, ready to bloom into something meaningful if only she would let them breathe. At that moment, Sarah made a choice. She would share the truth with Lily. The beautiful estate, the hidden legacy, the letters from the man who had shaped her, for better or worse. Later that night, as she prepared dinner, another meal cooked with love, seasoned with an undercurrent of anxiety, Lily entered, still glowing from a day filled with dreams. She crashed onto the couch, her face lighting up. Can you believe it? Tomorrow is it? The happiest day of our lives. Can you help me tweak the playlist? Sarah's heart ached at her daughter's bliss. Could she shatter it with the truth? Of course. But can we talk first? Lily's expression shifted to one of curiosity, a hint of confusion creasing her brow. Sure, Mom. What's up? The words caught in Sarah's throat, the letters weighing heavy, yet she felt the urgency to move beyond silence. She smiled softly, trying to balance her emotions as she continued, remember the stories I've shared about your grandpa? There's more, much more. Lily sat up, intrigued but slightly wary. What do you mean? Just as Sarah was about to speak, a loud bang echoed from outside. The wind howled fiercely, sending a shiver through the walls. It felt like nature itself was insisting they confront the storm brewing beneath their conversation. Let us go check it out, Lily suggested, rising, her excitement outweighing uncertainty. But how could Sarah face the tumult outside without first taming the storm within? Would she be ready to unveil the secrets that could change everything? The answers awaited in that beach house, and they would soon find out if love had the strength to bridge their past and define their future. As they stepped beyond the door, Sarah knew that the real unveiling was about to begin. Would she find the words before the wedding bells rang? The wind whipped through the air as Sarah and Lily stepped outside. A roiling sky opened up before them, dark and electric. The ocean crashed against the shore, throwing spray into the air like confetti bursting from a cannon. It felt as though the world was alive with energy, mirroring the turmoil in Sarah's heart. Wow, look at those waves! Lily exclaimed, her eyes shining with a mixture of thrill and a hint of apprehension. Do you think it's going to rain? I hope not, Sarah replied, forcing a laugh to keep the mood light, even as the pressure built in her chest. Let us grab some towels in case. They made their way down the wooden path that led to the beach, the sounds of the wedding preparations fading behind them. Sarah's mind was elsewhere, consumed with the impending conversation. What would Lily think? How would she react? Each step felt like trudging through mud, heavy and slow. Mom. Lily's voice cut through her thoughts. Are you sure you're okay? The concern in Lily's voice made Sarah's resolve waver. How could she put her daughter through this? But as they reached the beach, the sight of the churning waves reminded her of the tumult that had followed her for so long. It was time to face it, to confront not just the sea, but all that had been hidden beneath the surface. Sit with me for a moment, honey, Sarah said, motioning to a smooth rock that jutted out near the water's edge. They parked themselves there, and Sarah took a deep breath. The wind snagged her words, but she pressed on, determined. I have something important to tell you. Something about your grandfather. Lily studied her, biting her lip, the excitement of the impending celebration ebbing away. What is it, Mom? You're starting to worry me. The horizon darkened further as another gust blew through, and Sarah felt herself teeter on the edge. It's south about the estate, the house we lived, Indiana. There's a legacy there. A legacy I never shared with you. What do you mean? What kind of legacy? Lily leaned forward, curiosity battling caution, and it gave Sarah a small glimmer of hope. Your grandpa, he left me letters. Letters that talk about our family, about our past. Sarah struggled to keep her voice steady. I didn't want to dive into it before because I thought it might confuse you, but... Lily's brows knitted together. But what? Mom, just tell me. As the silhouettes of seabirds glided overhead, Sarah felt the pulse of the waves echoing the heartbeat of the secrets she had kept. He left us more than just memories. There are things in those letters, things that could change everything for us. Everything you've ever known. The words hung like clouds ready to burst. Sarah's heart raced as she watched Lily process that weighty admission. Still yearning for clarity, she added, he wanted us to know about his work, his struggles, and his hopes for our future. Wait, what do you mean? Lily's voice was a thread away from breaking. Are you saying that our family is wealthy? Rich? A flash of lightning cracked across the sky, illuminated by distant thunder, a consummate build-up to the storm both outside and within. He left something valuable behind, Lily. An inheritance worth millions. But it's more than just money. It's a part of you, a part of me. Lily blinked, her expression flickering between disbelief and intrigue. This is huge, Mom. Sarah felt a swell of anxiety. Her heart ached as she witnessed her daughter's shifting emotions. I didn't want to bring it up today, not before the wedding, but I felt I couldn't walk into tomorrow without you knowing the truth. The roar of the ocean intensified, drowning out words unspoken and blasting them into swirling chaos. What if I had never told you? Sarah murmured quietly, almost to herself as she braced for Lily's response. Is that why you've been so distant? Lily asked, her voice barely a whisper. You were keeping this from me? I was scared, Sarah admitted, fighting tears. Scared of what it might mean for us. The weight of her confession hung heavily under the tension-filled storm clouds, and in that moment, it became clear that the wedding was not just an end, but a beginning for better or for worse. As the first drops of rain began to fall, mingling with the salt of the sea air, Sarah knew there were more storms ahead. Would they weather this one together? Would the legacy build a bridge or create an insurmountable divide before the wedding day dawned? With more questions than answers, they both stood on the brink of change, not knowing yet how it would unfold. The rain began as a soft patter, quickening into a steady drumming against the rocks. Sarah could feel each drop seeping into her skin, a reminder of the transformation she had initiated. She glanced at Lily, whose face was pale beneath the dim light of the storm. It was as if the heavens themselves shared in her daughter's confusion. Mom, this isn't just a surprise. It's a bombshell, Lily said, shaking her head as if to clear away the weight of the revelation. Why would Grandpa keep all of this from us? Sarah lowered her eyes to the thrashing waves. He thought it was better to protect us. Sometimes keeping the truth hidden feels safer. But I didn't have that right. Silence stretched between them, punctuated only by the roar of the surf and the rhythmic outburst of thunder. It felt like the world was waiting. This was no ordinary conversation, it was a door swinging wide open, revealing shadows from the past. But what do you want to do with all this? Lily asked, her voice softer now, uncertainty layered with curiosity. It could change everything. Will it change us? This is about more than money, Lily, Sarah replied, her heart racing. It's about understanding who we are, where we come from. Your grandfather poured his heart into those letters. He left stories in there, stories that might take us places we never imagined. The rain continued to fall, heavier now, soaking their clothes and grounding them in that moment. Lily fidgeted, pulling her towel around her shoulders. Then, she asked the question burning brightly in her eyes. What S in the letters? What if he had dark secrets? What if we find out he was someone we didn't think he was? The thought twisted like a knife in Sarah's gut. She had feared the very same thing. One of her biggest worries was that the legacy could come with shadows, nighted with uncertainties. I suppose we'll find out together, she finally said, forcing a smile, but her own heart was heavy with doubt. This wedding, it was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Now it feels like there's a storm brewing, in more ways than one. Lily's voice trembled, and her shoulders slumped in defeat. Lily, I didn't ruin your day. I wanted to protect you. I thought I was doing the right thing, Sarah said. But I see now that the truth is its own kind of freedom, even if it feels like chaos. A nearby lightning bolt illuminated the shoreline, glimmering on the water. It was beautiful and terrifying, just like the world they were navigating. But in that raw moment, Sarah felt a connection deepen, a bond forged in honesty, however unsettling it might be. Are you scared? Lily asked, her voice barely above the rush of the waves. Terrified, Sarah admitted, their eyes locking in that pulse of vulnerability. But we can brave the unknown together. You and I are a team, no matter how turbulent the waves get. Lily's gaze softened. Okay, so what now? How do we go about this? Sarah took a deep breath, buoyed by her daughter's willingness to face the future. We'll go home, find those letters, and read them together. We'll embrace the storms as they come. There's nothing we can't handle as long as we face it as a family. As the torrential rain began to feel familiar, like a cleansing ritual, Sarah felt a quiet strength bloom between them, an unwavering tether that whispered, "We will get through this." But as they prepared to leave the shore, a new wave of anxiety crested. What other truths lay hidden, tucked beneath the surface of those letters? What revelations awaited them inside the depths of a legacy they had only begun to scratch the surface of? With the skies still rumbling above, they began their walk back, the weight of the storm only a reflection of the unsettled feelings unfolding in their hearts. Would they emerge stronger together, or would those words consume them? The walk back was drenched in tension. Sarah could barely feel her feet on the slick ground as they picked their way through the rocky beach. The wind whipped the rain into stinging bursts against her skin. Each step felt like a step deeper into an unknown that neither she nor Lily could fully comprehend. Lily walked close to her, her expression flickering between determination and unease. What if we read the letters and they just tear everything apart? The question lingered in the air, heavy like the clouds overhead. Sarah wanted to reassure her, to promise that nothing could break the bond they shared. We can't know unless we try. And we'll be there for each other, no matter what. As they reached the car, the engine sputtered to life, but Sarah felt far from warm and safe. The storm outside mirrored her inner chaos, the turmoil of revelations that could change their entire world. She caught Lily's eye in the rearview mirror. You still want to do this? I have to know, Lily said, her voice steady. Even if it's scary, I want to find out what Grandpa wanted us to learn. Sarah nodded, her heart swelling with pride. Perhaps they would emerge stronger, just as she had hoped. As they made their way home, the sounds of the storm faded with each mile. The buzzing silence created space for thought. Lily shuffled in her seat, picking at the edges of her towel. What if, she started, hesitating. What if there is something good in those letters? Something worth holding on to? Then it'll be a part of us, too, Sarah replied, trying to wrap her mind around the possibilities. Good or bad, these letters promised a connection to a man they loved. A grandfather who had been more than just a faded photograph or a wise old voice. Arriving home, the familiar creaks and groans of their house greeted them like a childhood song. But tonight, each noise felt different, like echoes of a past they were only beginning to understand. Tension hung in the air as they walked past the living room filled with wedding decorations that now seemed to mock their turmoil. Want to start tonight? Lily asked, her gaze darting to the heavy box tucked away under the old coffee table. I think we should, Sarah said, stealing herself. As they pulled out the box, dust swirling in the flickering light, it felt like unearthing a treasure chest. The letters, neatly tied with twine, lay inside, waiting to be unraveled. Lily took a deep breath and reached for the first bundle. "This is it, Mom. This changes everything." Sarah's heart raced. She didn't know what they would uncover. They could uncover joy or grief, love or regret. Thoughts raced through her mind. What would they find, and what would it all mean? Suddenly, the room seemed to grow colder, the shadows lengthening. Each letter felt like a thread pulled from a fabric waiting to unravel. As Lily took the first letter, her hands shook slightly. "Are you ready, Mom?" With a small nod, they leaned in closer, both of them aware that behind each word lay a piece of the man they hardly knew, a mystery waiting to spill its secrets. But just as Lily began to read, the lights flickered ominously, dimming and brightening again, sending a shiver up Sarah's spine. "Did you see that?" Lily's voice was a mix of intrigue and fear. "Yeah," Sarah whispered, feeling a twinge of dread. What if the storm had not just been outside but brewing inside those pages as well? As they braced for what was to come, both of them knew that they were about to cross a threshold that held the power to shift everything they understood about their family. And the question loomed, would they still feel whole after revealing the truth? The silence in the room felt oppressive. Sarah leaned closer as Lily hesitated again, her eyes darting from the letter to her mother's concerned face. "Should I?" "Go ahead," Sarah urged, her voice barely above a whisper. Lily took a deep breath, the paper crinkling in her fingers. The first echoing lines began to fill the atmosphere, each word weaving a tapestry of emotions, the ink a bridge to a past they never truly knew. "My dear Lily," she read, and Sarah's heart caught. The name hung in the air like a ghost, both startling and intimate. Grandfather had written to her, a reminder of connections that stretched beyond time. Lily continued, her voice steadying with each word, revealing secrets and stories of love long lost and dreams left unfulfilled. Sarah closed her eyes briefly, letting the narrative wash over her. The weight of the past pressed against her chest. But it wasn't just her father's history unraveling, it was their own. "There were things I could not tell you, things I wished for you to learn for yourself," Lily read, her brow furrowing in confusion. What could he have meant by that? "Maybe he wanted us to discover our own truths," Sarah suggested, though doubt crept into her voice. How could these letters hold the answers when they felt more like riddles? Lily flipped to the next letter, her curiosity ignited. "I can't believe he wrote all of this. He kept so much from us." The letters cascaded into revelations, tales of a love story filled with both light and shadow, decisions made in secret, and dreams deferred. In the midst of this, Sarah caught glimpses of the man she knew only as a distant figure, flashes of vulnerability, joy, regret, and the weight of expectations. And then, there it was, a story of loss that struck hard. Lily's voice trembled slightly as she read about a sister Sarah had never known existed. He had another daughter. The room felt like it was closing in. Sarah's thoughts raced, swirling with disbelief and anger. How could he never tell us? Lily looked up, her eyes wide with emotions that mirrored Sarah's own. "What do we do with this, Mom? How can we trust that what he wrote is even true?" "Processing it is the first step," Sarah replied, fighting the tears threatening to spill. "But we need to talk about how this changes everything." They were no longer just mother and daughter, but explorers of a legacy that was richer and more complex than they had imagined. Suddenly, the lights flickered again, plunging them into semi-darkness before flickering back. The air grew heavier, charged with something unspoken. "Did you feel that?" Lily asked, her eyes darting around the room. Sarah nodded, unnerved. "Yeah. It's as if, we're not alone in this." The letters had become more than artifacts, they carried echoes of the past that refused to fade. Just then, the phone rang, cutting through the tension. Sarah jumped, her heart racing. Who could it be at this hour? Lily's brow furrowed, and Sarah could see a flicker of fear. What if it's someone from Grandpa's past? What if they know more? Oh God, Sarah muttered, her heart now pounding in anticipation. What if this call was just the beginning of more secrets waiting to be uncovered? As they exchanged glances, they realized that they needed to answer. Together, they steeled themselves for whatever awaited on the other end of the line, and the answers they might not be prepared for. No, no, no. Don't answer it. Lily's hand shot out, gripping Sarah's wrist. There was a wildness in her eyes, a mix of fear and hope swirling like a storm. What if it's important? Sarah countered, her resolve faltering under her daughter's worried gaze. Important? Or dangerous? Lily insisted, pulling Sarah back to the moment. The phone rang again, persistent, an insistent reminder that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. Sarah steadied herself. It's just a phone call. And what if it's the key to understanding all of this? With a deep, shuddering breath, Sarah reached for the phone, its weight heavy in her hand. She could feel Lily's heartbeat echoing through their connected palms. Hello. She said, trying to mask the trepidation in her voice. Is this Sarah? A gravelly voice crackled through the line, as rough as the ocean waves outside. Yes, she replied, unsure of where this was going. I'm a friend of your grandfather's. I've been trying to reach you. The man's voice took on a grave tone. There are things you need to know. Immediate panic surged through Sarah. She shot a glance at Lily, whose eyes screamed for answers. Things about your grandfather. And the daughter he never mentioned, the voice pressed on, as if he could sense Sarah's quickening pulse through the phone. Wait, how do you know about her? Because I was there. You need to meet me. This isn't something you can understand over the phone, he said, his tone shifting to urgency. I promise you it will answer so many questions, but you'll need to trust me. What are you talking about? Sarah's mind raced, spinning with possibilities. This was a man plunged into the mystery of their grandfather, a man whose existence felt like a bridge to unfathomable truths. Your grandfather was part of something much bigger than you realize. A legacy that, well, it's going to change everything for you and Lily. Lily leaned closer, her breath quickening, soaking in the mysterious weight of the call. What do you mean, a legacy? Sarah pressed, her mouth dry, heart hopping with every beat. Meet me. I can't explain it all now, but trust me, knowledge comes with a price. You'll need the full story. Where? Tomorrow. 8 a.m. At the old lighthouse on Beachside Drive. The line went dead before Sarah could even muster a response, leaving her holding the phone like a ticking time bomb. What did he say? Lily's voice trembled slightly as she watched her mother's face fall into deep concentration. He said we need to meet him. There's more. About Grandpa, about the sister. Lily's face twisted, uncovering an unspoken conflict. Do we have to? I mean, what if it's a mistake? What if he's lying? I don't know, sweetheart. But it feels like a chance we can't ignore. Maybe we should go. Maybe it'll bring us closer to the truth, Lily said, a flicker of determination igniting within her. Silence enveloped them again like a thick fog, heavy with the weight of choices. In less than 24 hours, they might find answers that could reshuffle everything. Let us figure this out, Sarah said finally, squeezing Lily's hand. Together. But as they made plans to confront the next day, the flickering lights dimmed again. This time, more persistently, like a heart beating in resistance against the shadows surrounding them. Mom, do you think something is causing this? Sarah looked at the letter still resting on the table, the mystery of its contents clawing at her resolve. I'm not sure. Yet deep down, she felt at the pull of secrets lurking just beneath the surface of their family's history. As the night passed, the weight of tomorrow hung heavy in the air. With every passing hour, the uncertainty grew. Would they be ready to face the truths hidden in the darkness? The answer awaited them at the lighthouse, waiting for them to take the plunge, but what awaited there could either heal or tear them apart. "Are we really prepared for this?" Lily whispered, a tremor of fear in her voice as they settled into bed. "We'll find out soon enough," Sarah replied, her heart racing with the thought of what lay ahead. The truth felt closer yet more elusive than ever. With dawn's light looming on the horizon, they drifted into a restless sleep, both haunted by what might await them and what they would uncover together. The sun peeked through the curtains, a timid promise of the day ahead. Sarah awoke with a jolt, the weight of the incoming meeting crashing down on her like a wave. She could feel Lily next to her, still sleeping, a look of peace on her face that conflicted with the storm gathering in Sarah's chest. "Wake up, honey," she whispered, gently shaking Lily's shoulder. The moment her daughter opened her eyes, the reality of the day swept back in. "What time is it?" Lily mumbled, her voice groggy. "Time to face whatever this is," Sarah replied, a mix of determination and fear welling up inside her. They navigated the morning with a charged silence, each movement heavy with the knowledge of what lied ahead. As they ate breakfast, Sarah caught a glimpse of the letter once more, a simple piece of paper, yet it felt like a puzzle piece that could unlock their past. She wanted to scream, to tear it apart, to push away the doubts plaguing their minds. But she also understood the ambition of discovery. That they were so close to something monumental hung in the air like the salty humidity. "We're leaving soon, right?" Lily broke the silence, glancing at the clock. Her nervous fingers tapped the table, betraying her calm demeanor. "Yeah. We'll get going in a bit," Sarah said, lost in thought. The lighthouse loomed large in her mind, not just as a structure but as a beacon guiding them toward truths long buried. The car ride felt endless, even though it was only a short drive. The old streets lined with trees and faded houses whizzed by without any real notice. Sarah gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles turning white, while Lily stared out the window, lost in her own cyclone of thoughts. "Do you think he'll tell us what we need to know?" Lily finally asked. "I hope so," Sarah replied, though doubt crawled up her throat. How could one man hold the keys to their family's scattered history? As they neared the lighthouse, the sky darkened with clouds, almost as if nature sensed the gravity of the moment. Once they pulled into the gravel parking lot, both women stepped out into the salty spray of the ocean air. "Here we are," Sarah said, trying to inject some strength into her wavering voice. The lighthouse appeared looming and isolated against the churning backdrop of waves crashing against the cliffs. Just then, she felt Lily's hand intertwine with hers. It was a simple gesture, yet it sent a rush of comfort through her, an unbreakable bond, a shared sense of facing whatever came next together. "Ready?" Lily asked, her voice quavering. "We'll never know until we try," Sarah answered, stepping forward, her heart pounding louder than the crashing surf. As they approached the door, it creaked open, revealing the man from the phone call standing there, shrouded in shadows. "Sarah, Lily," he greeted, his voice a combination of gravel and warmth. "You made it. Good. We have a lot to discuss." The air around them was charged, a canvas painted with years of secrets and unclaimed truths. Just before he stepped aside to let them in, he looked at them with an urgency that made Sarah's stomach twist. "Everything you thought you knew, it's so much more complex." A knot tightened in Sarah's chest. "Like what?" She barely managed to ask, dreading the answer. But the man just gestured for them to enter, cloaked in the anticipation of revelation. As they stepped inside, cocooned by the scent of aged wood and the faintest whiff of salt, Sarah felt an overwhelming weight of history settle in. The door creaked shut behind them, sealing off the outside world, enveloping them in uncertainty and intrigue. In that moment, Sarah understood the truth they sought was closer than it had ever been, but it came with shadows they had yet to unveil. "We need to know everything," she said, her voice steadying, fueled by both fear and resolve. As the man guided them deeper into the heart of the lighthouse, Sarah's heart raced with every step. What revelations awaited them in the depths of this forgotten structure? And even more troubling, would they be ready for what lay ahead? The man led them into a narrow hallway that smelled of saltwater and history. Shadows danced along the walls, highlighted by slivers of light filtering through dusty panes. The air thickened with expectation. "Please, sit." He gestured to two wooden chairs that creaked in protest as they settled into them. Sarah's heart beat in her ears. "What is this about? Why did you call us?" The man sighed, his gaze drifting to the ocean view beyond the window. "There are things about your family's past that need to be clarified." He finally turned to them, his expression serious. "Especially regarding your grandfather." Lily shifted in her seat, her fingers nervously fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. "What about him?" "Your grandfather was involved in something significant. Something that may change the way you see your entire family's history." His eyes bore into them, and Sarah felt a swell of confusion and fear. What could possibly be hidden from them for so long? Like what? Sarah pressed, desperate for clarity. "He had a legacy. A financial legacy, one that is tied to this lighthouse and the land surrounding it," the man said, his voice lowering as if the walls themselves were listening. "A legacy worth over $30 million. The words hung in the air, a sharp gasp escaping Lily's lips before she could cover her mouth. $30 million? Are you serious?" "Absolutely," he said, leaning forward. "He left it all behind, but it comes with conditions. And it's been hidden for many years. We didn't know any of this. How could we not know?" Sarah's voice was a desperate whisper, struggling to wrap around the weight of this new reality. "Because it was never meant for you," he said carefully. "But your grandfather had his reasons. The legacy was meant as protection, a safeguard against the darkness that surrounded his decisions in life." "What do you mean by darkness?" Lily's voice quivered with curiosity and fear. "Secrets. Familial betrayals. Things that could tear your family apart if exposed." The man shifted again, surveying their expressions. "Your grandfather didn't leave you his wealth without a purpose. He wanted you to be the ones to uncover the truths." Sarah felt her breath quicken. The man was speaking in riddles, and it was driving her wild. "Uncover what truths? What do you want us to do?" He leaned back, crossing his arms. "To truly inherit the legacy, you will need to face your past. Not just your grandfather's, but your own as well. The lighthouse holds answers, but they won't come easy." "What do we need to do?" Lily asked, her voice now steadying. "You need to explore every corner of this place. The answers lie within these walls. But be warned, you might not like everything you find," he cautioned. The storm outside mirrored Sarah's emotions. She wasn't just listening for revelations, she was bracing herself for the fallout. Would their family's past hold the key to a brighter future? Or would it shatter everything they thought they understood about themselves? Turning to Lily, Sarah could see a glimmer of determination in her daughter's eyes. "We can handle it together, right?" "Right," Lily affirmed, her voice gaining strength. Deep down, Sarah felt a flicker of hope igniting, battling against the mired roots of fear and doubts. As they exchanged a look of shared conviction, Sarah recognized that this journey might lead to more than just uncovering the truth. It might reveal parts of themselves they never had the courage to explore. "Let us find those answers," Sarah declared, standing just a little taller despite the uncertainty swirling around them. As they prepared to delve deeper into the lighthouse, Sarah felt the weight of their quest settle around them. What would they discover? And how would it change the fabric of their family forever? They approached a door marked with an intricate design that hinted at forgotten stories. Sarah hesitated, a shiver of trepidation running through her. But with a deep breath, she pushed the door open, ready to embrace whatever lay beyond. What awaited them on the other side? The door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit chamber filled with old maritime artifacts and dusty ocean charts. The room smelled of sea salt and a twinge of something timeless, as if the walls held whispers of the past. An ancient map adorned the far wall, intricately detailed and marked with locations that felt both haunting and familiar. "I think this is where the exploration begins," the man said, stepping in beside them. "Your grandfather was always fascinated by the sea. He believed it held secrets that could unlock a family's understanding of itself." Sarah stepped further inside, her heart racing. "What kind of secrets?" she asked, her pulse quickening with anticipation. "There are journals here." His writings, the man gestured to a small desk in the corner, cluttered with leather-bound books. "You'll want to start there. They might shed light on his life, the choices he made, and the legacy he left behind." Lily reached for a journal, its cracked cover echoing stories long hidden. As she gently opened it, a cool breeze fluttered through the room, sending shivers up Sarah's spine. The pages were filled with her grandfather's neat script notes, thoughts, and memories penned with passion and pain. "Every story begins and ends with choices," the man said. "Your grandfather made his to protect you, in ways you might not initially understand." With each page Lily turned, Sarah held her breath, aware that they were peeling back layers, exposing vulnerabilities that might change everything they knew. "He wrote about a sister, my aunt. He loved her, didn't he?" "Yes," the man nodded solemnly. "But their story is complicated. She was lost to him in ways that haunted him forever." As they read on, tales of buried treasure and family strife emerged, like pieces of a puzzle finally finding their place. Sarah felt a rush of awareness, each revelation intertwined their past with a raw thread of emotion. "He didn't just leave us money, he left us a part of our identity," she whispered, feeling tears well up. "Exactly," the man confirmed, leaning closer. "But inheriting this legacy means facing the truths he wrestled with and understanding your own stories." Lily paused, looking thoughtfully at her mother. "What else do we need to discover? Can we change what's already happened?" "Perhaps," he replied. "But the true legacy lies in how you choose to move forward. Your grandfather failed in many ways, but he also triumphed, and therein lies the heart of your family's journey." A gust of wind whistled outside, rattling the windows and reminding them that change, like the tide, was relentless. Both mother and daughter exchanged a determined glance. They had come to this lighthouse seeking answers, but what emerged was something far more profound, a shared commitment to redefine their future. "Let us read the rest," Sarah said firmly, "and we'll start afresh. We can be the architects of our own legacy." Lily nodded, a newfound resolve blooming within her. "Together," she affirmed, squeezing her mother's hand tightly. As they dove deeper into the journals, the room felt alive, almost breathing with possibility. With each word, the weight of their family's history transformed from a burden into a legacy they could honor. In the hours that followed, they uncovered lost letters, photographs, and memorabilia, piecing together a narrative that wove love, loss, and resilience into their family lineage. The storm outside had subsided, but within them, a storm of emotions brewed: joy, sorrow, and a profound sense of connection with the man who had left behind a complex tapestry of life. Finally, as they closed the last journal, Sarah and Lily felt a profound peace settle amongst them. They had learned about their past, yes, but they had also unearthed a promise for the future. "We can embrace our family, its joys, its sorrows, and even its secrets," Lily said, her eyes shining with hope. "Yes," Sarah agreed, her heart swelling. "That's our choice moving forward." As they left the lighthouse, a new chapter awaited them. It felt like their family had begun to heal, offering them an opportunity to forge a better understanding of each other. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm light over the landscape, a symbol of hope illuminating their way, and in the midst of their laughter and shared stories, the sound of wedding bells echoed in the distance, reminding Sarah that they would enter this new phase of life not burdened by the past, but buoyed by their legacy. Sarah turned to Lily. "Are you ready for the wedding?" "More than ever." Lily smiled, taking her mother's hand. "Let us celebrate our past not by hiding it, but by honoring it." With tears of joy sliding down her cheeks, Sarah realized they had just unlocked something profound together, a legacy of love that would shape a brighter future, you need to subscribe now to never miss our next exclusive story. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. And for the love of transformation, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this journey. Don't wait not even one more second to share.